Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and my good friend Eric Hollenbeck, man, the myth, the legend. Eric, how are you?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Scott, how are you today?
I'm well today. It's good. It's the end of the week, and we're racing toward that Christmas holiday.
Yeah. Breakneck speed. I don't know.
Every year it kind of creeps up.
I get it.
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
the same way.
I wore my holiday sweater for you.
Good for you.
Yeah, I had to wear that. So it's fun to have you because you're legendary, or you're becoming that. It's kind of like your Moses. You became famous later in life.
Yeah. Well, I'm a slow bloomer.
Yeah, my dad used to say that. He goes, "We're from Iowa, and we're a little slower than most folks."
I totally get that. I drove out here, Scott. Remember, I grew up on Myrtle Avenue.
2 blocks away, yeah.
You know, at the corner of Myrtle and S.
Yeah, right down the street.
And Dennis Manfreda and I, at 5 o'clock at night, drove our little lawnmower-powered go-kart up and down the street.
On Myrtle.
On
Yeah.
Myrtle.
I understand you couldn't get away with that today. It's 4 lanes. It's crazy. You get killed.
You got to be watching what you're doing in a Mack truck
That's right.
today.
That's right.
It's just not good or bad.
Yeah, it's the old
I'm
days.
never saying. It's just different.
Yeah, it's the olden days. So you've got a lot of history in this town. We're going to talk about your history here, your service in the Vietnam War, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the marriage to your better half.
Yes, sir.
You like me, married up.
Yes.
My dad goes, I love Joni. I said, what about me? And he made a face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you? You're smart enough to marry Viviana.
Yeah.
And then you run the Blue Ox Millworks down in
Yep.
foot of X
Street.
right on the bay.
Right on the
We'll
bay.
talk all about that. And then you have a book,
Yes.
and there was a play at Del Arte written for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Based on the book. Yeah.
And then the Academy Award winning Craftsman on cable TV.
It really was. It was an Academy, but it did do really well. It
Yeah.
was ranked number 1
Yeah.
for the 2 seasons, both years that it ran.
Oh, it's incredible. Are you going to do some more? I don't want to jump too far ahead of this.
Let's get to that.
We'll get to that. Tell us about growing up in Eureka. You're 100% Humboldt, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're from right over here in Eureka, California.
Yeah.
That's in the North Coast. We're about 7 hours north, 6 hours north of San Francisco.
Yeah.
And you grew up in this area. You're what, 80 years young?
Yes, sir.
So you go back into the olden days.
Well, but your first point is absolutely correct. People think San Francisco is Northern California.
No way.
There's 7 more hours, gang,
That's right.
in a car going 60 miles an hour.
Bay Area is central.
Yeah,
Maybe.
to you and me.
Yeah. Everybody goes, oh, you're way up there in Napa.
Yeah. It's and I just think it's a marvelous place to grow up. I mean, it was just, I couldn't have asked for a better I couldn't ask for a better life.
Amen.
But my growing up was superb if you take school out of it. I had a really hard time. I can't read.
Yeah.
And never have been able to.
How about that?
It's not a big deal. Viviana reads. My wife reads.
She'll be the reader.
She reads. Yeah. My job is to learn how to do what I do.
Yeah.
And become the best at that I could be.
Oh, legendary.
And every one of us, that's our job. For young people out there that are listening, I don't play to your bad cards. For God's sakes, nobody should do that.
Don't play
Play to your good cards.
all the time.
Figure out what you do and then do it the best you can. I'm not saying you got to be the best in the world, because I ain't.
Sure.
I'm just saying you got to be the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
And
well
that's
advised.
important.
They say that in business acumen, you play to your strengths
Yeah.
and let the weaknesses go, but get good at what you're good at.
For gosh sakes, that's any poker player is going to tell you that. Not that I know how to play poker, but I sound like a big time gambler.
Yeah, right. So school was tough on a guy like you.
Yeah, his school wasn't good, but
it's tough on a lot of people.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. No, I got 9 kids, and some of them are brilliant learners, and others are brilliant learners.
Yeah, yeah.
And it neither we want to put a value judgment on intelligence as it looks like book learning, and that's not. We know better now.
That's one aspect, and it's a great aspect for those that can do it. Boy, I'm waving the flag and beating the drum for them.
Heck yeah.
But for those who can't do it, there's a different way, and I'm waving the flag and beating the drum for them too.
You would love my son-in-law Matt, who was a brilliant builder. And the folks said, hey, when he was young, he was dyslexic, he couldn't read. We were troubled. We tested him. And he was a $150 IQ. So he's smarter than all of us in the room. And he's proven it with a life of creative craftsmanship. And he serves people. He built our special needs son Gabe's home up in McKinleyville. Yeah. Little 1,100 square foot, beautiful home. And hey, Matt, how you doing? So he is my example of to make your point. There's different smarts. There's different giftings.
We're different folks. We ain't Scott. We're not Coca-Cola cans pulled off the shelf.
Amen.
And you just fill up the 6-pack.
That's right.
That ain't the way it goes.
Yeah, it's just a good spice in the soup.
So yeah, let's embrace it.
Amen. So growing up in Eureka, it was a different town. How was, say, 60s and 1950s and 60s in Eureka is very different from the 2020s today. You had Old Town wasn't developed quite yet.
No. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no. Where I just drove up Myrtle Avenue to get here and went through the intersection of Myrtle and S Street. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, very, very busy intersection right now. Yeah. Well, we're, I think they call it CVS.
Yeah, the pharmacy there.
Uh-huh. That was a feed store.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh. That was a feed store when I was growing up.
Then it was Long's Drugs years ago.
Way before Long's Drugs, it was a feed store.
How about that?
And across the street, across S Street was a little gas station, a little corner gas station, and across Myrtle Avenue was a market. I want to say Saunders, but
so Beret Center was not there.
Oh, no, none of that. That was all just field. That was all just open
So the
land.
folks understand 3 of these corners are strip malls. Now, it's just full of, but it was just a crossroads is what you're saying.
It was just, and Dennis and I made a go-kart, made our own go-kart with a lawnmower engine on it. And we would drive it up to the gas station to get 50 cents worth of gas. Yeah. Oh, heck. 25 cents worth of gas.
I was going to
say. And go back to our house.
Go figure.
So it's, those things have changed. Dennis and I built a boat when we were 13 years old. I know that because you could get your hunting license if you could pass the NRHA test,
right?
NRA, National Rifle Association test,
right?
You could get your hunting license at 13,
right?
He and I hunkered down, and we passed our test, and so we built a boat out of one sheet of plywood, because we mowed lawns till we could buy one sheet of plywood, sawed it with a handsaw, an old handsaw in our garage, and then luckily for us, they were building a house next door.
Mm-hmm. Scraps.
No, they tarred the roof.
Oh.
And we went over in the evening.
Got some of that.
Got some of the tar and melted it down and painted the boat with tar. And that slowed the leaking down enough that we could. It was a 2-man boat.
Could stay afloat.
One guy rowed and the other guy bailed.
Yeah.
It was a 2-man boat.
So you go off on the slough out in the bay?
At 5 o'clock in the morning.
Attaboy. Go fishing or shoot?
No, we go duck hunting.
Yeah. Wow.
And to be super honest, Scott, I cannot remember. I can't remember killing one duck.
But you went hunting a lot.
We shot up boxes of shells because we'd set decoys out, and we were 13.
Yeah.
And about 10 minutes into it, we get bored. Nothing has flown in here, so we'd start shooting Tipton weed roots, or we'd see a log floating by. We shoot the log.
You got to shoot a log.
We shoot anything.
They don't taste that good. So you got called to Vietnam out of high school?
Yes.
Or were you done with high school?
I was finished with high school. I was 18 when I got drafted.
How about that?
Yeah, and they were. It was the pick of the draw, and they took numbers, and my number came up 12.
Wow, that's early.
That's
pretty darn early.
That's pretty early.
So you were U.S. Army?
I was Army. I got drafted into the Army, and then went through basic training up in Fort Lewis, Washington.
Sure.
And cold, Scott.
That's Eastern Washington, right?
I don't know. It's at the bottom of this. What the heck is that mountain called?
Is it Rainier? It's not Rainier.
Might be Rainier.
But colder than
oh my God. That was a kiss of death coming down off of that hill every day.
Freezing.
Oh my Lord.
That's why we live on the coast. So our coast is 60 degrees year round.
You're right.
Don't tell anybody. It's raining today. It's snow. You'll hate it. But the truth is, it's the best weather, I think.
No, not just you.
Yeah.
My dad was in real estate.
Uh-huh.
And he found a study on it. Fortuna, just south of us, has the smallest swing of high to lows in the continental United States.
How about that?
We have the smallest swing where our high is 65 and our low is 35.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's our total swing.
And somebody said the weather station up in Trinidad is the benchmark air for the rest of the nation because it's the most pure air quality.
Mm.
It comes right over the ocean from Alaska. There's no impediments. There's nothing to impede it, and it's just the freshest air in the world. And so when my kids come back traveling to come back to visit Christmas, whatever, man, this air smells good here. It smells like the ocean up here in McKinleyville. I go, you got it right, man. I hope you enjoy that. So
it has oxygen in it.
And by the way, for you folks that don't know your geography, that's the Pacific Ocean. It sits off of Humboldt County right here. It's the biggest ocean in the world, and enough of me being funny. So you went to Vietnam. You became a radio man?
Yeah, I got to Ben Hoa Air Base in Vietnam, and my second morning, they lined us all up, all the fresh recruits just coming in, lined us all up, and said, Joe Blow and you go here, and you go there. Eric Hollenbeck, you go up to the I Corps with the 101st Airborne. I was the only one.
Huh.
I flew in the C-140, a cargo plane, to go up to Benoit. I was it. I was the only
You were the guy in the
passenger
plane. Gas was cheaper.
It was, well, and they picked the right kid. I mean, the Army don't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to grips with that, why I was pushed into that, because we were the tip of the spear. 322 days in combat, straight.
Jeez.
Never out.
Unbelievable.
Ever.
No break.
No breaks. And why not me, Scott?
Hey.
I'd already worked in the woods for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was 19 years old. I was as rough and tough as they come.
Right.
I was as stupid as they come.
Well, there's that.
But I was as rough and tough. You know, I'm just saying that. Why would I ask somebody else to do it?
So did you immediately become a radio guy for the...
Within 4 days.
Now, is that a division, or what did you call it? You called it
a company, my company. I was a company of the 327.
Gotcha.
Second platoon.
How many folks in a company?
Normally, 212.
Gotcha.
And for our company, 68.
Whoa. Was it reduced, or was it just small by design?
We were the tip of the spear.
Wow.
They couldn't get people out to us.
Wow.
They couldn't get nothing.
Huh.
That was it.
So you saw some of the real crap go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's okay. And you know something I would like to tell people?
Please.
Stuff that looks really, really bad. Poop at the moment, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that word?
Sure, you just did.
You just stepped in poop.
Yeah.
At some point in your life, you're going to use that experience for a positive. And that, my friends, is, I don't care how bad it is,
yep.
It's a tool in your toolbox.
Love it.
And I think that that's what people need to remember.
Mm-hmm. That's an amen and a hallelujah twice. I like it. Yeah. And stick around. Life gets rough sometimes.
You know, we built the hearse. So I did Vietnam, mm-hmm. and I made it through. Mm-hmm. I have no idea how. I was a radioman. I had a 3-second life expectancy.
Wow.
In a firefight. I was a prime target, mm-hmm. and yet I made it. Mm-hmm. I've heard lots of bees go by my head.
The fast kind.
That's what I always called them. Other guys called them mosquitoes. Everybody had a name, but they were. They always sounded to me like bees, and you'd want to swat and say, "Get out here!
Keep your hands down.
I'm busy."
Yeah.
Thank God both hands were occupied, and you didn't do that. That'd be stupid. But lots and lots of bees, and never one of those.
Go figure.
They got to be pretty close for you to hear them.
Now, did you do 4 years?
No, I did 1 year.
You did 1 year. Okay.
I was a draftee.
Okay.
1 year.
And you got back and married your sweetheart.
And then I got back, and when I got out of the Army in Oakland, mm-hmm. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Was there a depot down there of some sort?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I am 36 hours out of the jungles. 36 hours. Huh. And the D-Rose through Oakland, that's do all the stuff you got to do to get out. Mm-hmm. And I get to the last window, the paymaster, and he pushes his wad of money at me.
Huh.
And then reaches in and pulls it all back, save for $6.13. It says, we overpaid you in Vietnam. This is your DROS pay, and there's the front door. See you later, kid.
That'll get you home with a Greyhound, maybe. Probably not.
No, I hitchhiked.
How about that?
I hitchhiked home
With $6.
with $6.13,
Huh.
and 5 o'clock in the morning, a salesman picked me up, and Scott, he may not have even been real.
Huh.
He may have been an angel.
Sure.
Said
Why
just for me, and he was going to Eureka.
Some salesmen are angels, by the way. From the
And-
long line of sales guys. I love it.
I'm in dress greens,
And he takes you all the way to Eureka, California.
and I'm in dress greens. There is no getting around where I just came from. Not any way in the world getting around that. And it ain't a very popular war.
Right.
All of the stuff going down out of it.
See, we forget that. So I'm 64, but I vaguely remember them ending the war, but I don't remember we'll just call it a shabby reception. That doesn't do it right, but
It's getting spit on, and it's
can't imagine it now. Yeah.
he never once, he talked the entire 6-hour trip. Never shut up.
That's
Never.
an angel for sure.
He never. And it was all, what do you think of them Dodgers? And have you ever fished the Klamath River? Boy, the Smith River, I bet you this time of year is.
How about
And all I had to do was,
Yeah.
Not one time did he mention the war. Not once.
How about that?
And when we got to Pepperwood, I hung my head out the window because we were back in my redwoods,
Good spell.
and those are my trees.
Wait, Pepperwood. Right over here. There it is.
Oh, you're too-
Pepperwood.
Yeah. And my hat blew off.
Oh,
And he says, "You want me to go back and get that?" And I said, "No, I know. I don't care about that hat at all." And then he said, "Scott, would you like me to pull over and you could go?" Sit under one of those trees.
wow.
I said, "Yeah,
What a guy.
how'd you like that?"
You took him up on it?
And he did.
How about that?
For 5 minutes, I got to go sit under my trees
Nice.
that I had dreamed about for a year in the jungle, because the jungle ain't the same. The jungle's timber, but it ain't the same. It's a totally different than my timber.
So
Yeah.
he saw you needed to take 5.
Yeah,
Boy. I like that story.
that's what I'm saying.
He took you all the way downtown Eureka?
He took me to my mom's store.
How about that?
That's what I'm trying to
What was his
say.
name?
I
Doesn't matter.
don't know.
Yeah.
Angel.
Angel. Bob. Bob the Angel. How about that? That's a great story.
That's an honest to God true story.
So that's a great story. So what did you do in the ensuing, say, 10, 15 years? I guess you met your wife. And how did you become associated with the now famous Blue Ox Millworks? Did you do other things first?
When I got back at 5:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and went to work Monday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning for the same company I'd worked for before I left. My mom my dad died while I was in Vietnam,
Wow.
and my mom had a nervous breakdown, and the house was 4 months in the arrears, and the bank was holding off because they knew I was coming.
Yeah.
So I just went to work, and hell, I worked in the woods. I made good money.
And in those days, the bank would understand that and work with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
That's what banks
They used to be that.
That's what they're for.
That's what
They need to get back to understanding that.
I remember It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart.
Yeah.
We watched it every year.
Yeah.
Same idea.
The same idea.
So you came back and rescued the operation.
They knew I was coming. So within a year, and then I worked another, I want to say, I think I worked for the company 2 more years. And then I had a meltdown.
Huh.
And I thought it was me. We didn't know nothing about shell shock.
PTSD.
We didn't know nothing about any of that, you know. And I packed it in. I sold I sold my cork boots. I sold everything.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the dog loaded up in the car with about $800 in cash money. I'm talking about.
This is cash money.
And I was going to retire for the rest of my life. We had old.
Probably could have.
We had old cassette, not cassette. No,
The 8
big
tracks?
one.
The 8 tracks.
8-track.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we turned the 8-track up, and we went up to Oregon, and we're on a road trip. Well,
Nice.
2 weeks into it, I ran out of money. I ran out of food. We had to come back, but
Sure.
and then a year later, in 73, 50 years ago,
Huh.
4 of us, my brother, me, and 2 friends, decided we're going to start a logging company. Oh. And I went in the bank. It was Security National back then, and almost said his name.
Security National.
It's
not Arkley.
No.
Yeah.
No. This was way. Anyway, I almost thought of the loan officer's name.
So you borrowed a bunch of money for a logging company.
$300.
That's a big loan.
I said, I want to borrow $300. I want to start.
What?
I want to start a logging company. And he started to laugh. And he laughed so loud, the entire bank turned around and looked at me. He just thought it was, God, it begins with a D. Doggone it.
What was funny to him? The amount or the fact that you
Of course.
Of
course.
You needed about $3 million.
Of course. Well, we started Blue Ox with $300.
Is that right? Was that an old mill site?
No, we were renting that building.
Oh, okay.
For $50 a month. It had no windows, no plumbing, no wiring, nothing in it. It was just a big empty building.
And that was the operations center for the logging company.
That was where we stored our stuff.
I see.
And then we would go live in the woods.
I see.
And we logged for 2 years, and then dead and diseased trees.
Gotcha.
Only dead and diseased.
Is it contracting with other people or
No, with the Forest Service.
Okay, got it.
We go out in the woods and find the dead and diseased trees. If we could find 3 or 4 trees in one area, we were in tall cotton.
Money, man.
We were raking it in. We could pay for gas, maybe.
Yeah.
What a concept.
How big is Blue Ox Millworks now on the
2
bay?
acres.
20 acres.
2 acres.
2 acres.
So
it appears bigger, but it's about 2 acres.
So then that fell apart. The Forest Service stopped those sales. And the other 3 partners bailed out.
Mm-hmm.
It was Viv and I. And the bank comes down, and it was Charlie Harris.
Charlie Harris.
Uh-huh.
That's the guy you're trying to remember?
No.
Oh.
No. He was president of the bank. Dean, God.
It'll come to you tonight.
Yeah.
Don't call me later. Oh, wait, you don't have a cell phone.
Anyway, oh man, I'm coming close. Anyway, and Charlie says, we want you to buy this building
Oh,
from us. We own. Well, I said, "Okay, that's easy. I can't do that. We ain't got
1973, 74.
74 now. We ain't got any money." He says, "Oh no money down. Just $600 a month payments. It's yours.
Wow.
2 acres and it's yours."
And commercial buildings on there.
So I said, "Okay, we'll try it." So I signed the piece of paper, Scott. The ink wasn't dry. I swear to God, the ink wasn't dry. And Charlie says, "Oh, shoot. I forgot to tell you. That building's on the condemnation list and it's condemned to be torn down. And
Sorry.
it's your problem now."
Sorry, bro.
See, you signed it.
We forgot one thing.
Are we running out of time?
No, you were doing great on
Okay.
time.
So, so I went to the building department, and it was Clint Swanson was the building
Swanson.
department. Clint Swanson. He's the head of the building department in Eureka.
Swanson, okay.
And I said, we want to fix that building up, but I ain't got no money. And Clint says, looked me right in the eye and says, "I'll tell you what, I will give you a permit that never expires,
What?
but you have to make some progress every month. Every month you have to make some progress toward getting that
Wow.
building fixed up."
He cut you that deal. Huh.
And we did. And then 25 years later, Clint came through on a tour.
Is there?
City officials, all of you, I want you to hear this. I want you to really hear this.
And he's retired now at 25
Of
years
course.
later, yeah.
Yeah. He comes through on a tour, and I recognized him. And I said, "Clint, oh my gosh." I took him through on a tour, and I said, "Do you remember what you did
How
and
about that?
that never expires?" He said, "Of course I do." And he
Wow.
said, "Look what you did. Because we cut you some slack, you made an asset to the community." He said, "If we tried that today, they'd hang us."
Oh, yeah.
I want you to hear that last sentence.
You're right there.
Yeah, because
Breaking the fourth wall, folks.
that's the important thing.
Amen.
He cut some slack. Do you win every time? Hell no.
He had discretion, though, and he gave you some.
But he chose to use the discretion, Scott. The same way with you. When we opened for tours, Larry, he was insurance, Larry Dake. Larry Dake. Everybody said, "You can't do that. You can't open a millwork shop and have people walking through. There's dangerous equipment in there. You can't do that."
He said, "Yes, we can."
Larry said,
He made it happen.
"I will guarantee that you can walk on water if you make the premium." He said, "You go up on the roof and you jump off it. I'll guarantee you can fly if you make the premium."
He took care of it.
So the first year, he had us with Lloyd's of London. And it was a potload of money.
Potload of money.
A potload to us,
Oh, they're expensive.
Today it wouldn't have been, but
Yeah.
To us then, it was a potload. The next year, we dropped down a notch. Lloyd's dropped us down a notch. And the year after that, we dropped down another notch. And the fourth year, we can get insurance anywhere we want to get insurance.
There you go. Yeah. Because he took a risk
Bec-
and
yeah,
exercised discretion.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Something we don't do anymore.
No, I want to say to the people.
CYA, we're busy covering up too many times. Yeah. Let's get creative and get out of the box.
And do it.
In the right situations. You can't do it for everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why me, Eric, walking into I almost had his name.
We
Dan.
got some more time to get that name. We're looking for. So if I'm a new guy to Blue Ox and you're talking to new folks, that locals, non-locals, what is Blue Ox Millworks in Eureka, California? And just a couple of, if you were to sum it up, I know it's a lot of things.
It's okay. It's so once we quit logging, we started manufacturing, because that's all I knew to do. And I went around and collected equipment around this county. Now you got to understand, we started with a $300 bank loan, so don't tell me how much money you want for that piece of equipment, because that ain't my piece of equipment.
I'll just put it on the truck for you. So when you say equipment, this is woodworking specific logging/logging equipment.
We have a full 8,000 square feet wood shop. Our tooling ranges from 1948. That's our newest piece, back to 1866.
How about that?
It was the old junk nobody wanted.
In a dying industry at the time, the things were retracting, right?
I'll put it on the truck to get it out of here for you.
Yeah, I'll take it. Good.
And then we have a blacksmith shop.
Mm-hmm.
We have a print shop, turn of the century print shop.
How about that?
We have a foundry, because all of my stuff is long since out of business. There ain't no parts.
Right.
You have to cast your own parts.
You better be making it.
You got to make everything.
So machine shop, foundry?
A machine shop, a foundry. We have, it's a living history museum. It's Hammond lumber.
Like Scott Hammond.
Hammond lumber.
He's my great-great-great-grandfather.
The biggest redwood sawmill in the world.
It's across the Samoa, right?
You know how big Hammond was?
Was it the biggest?
It was the biggest. So when GP came in, Georgia Pacific, and they're buying up a couple of sawmills, redwood sawmills. They bought Fort Bragg, and then they bought Hammond. Antitrust came swinging in instantly, instantaneously, and said, "You got to break it up. You have a monopoly in the redwood market now." That's how big Hammond was.
Wow.
Hammond was the biggest in the world.
How about that?
In the entire world.
So Hammond Trail that goes all the way. That was the rail bed, right?
That was the rail bed.
Goes all the way to Grinnell.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a rail bed up into West Haven, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They used to pull logs out of there.
Hammond was
How about that?
huge.
We'll talk offline. I want to know more about the Hammond Lumber Company. They were that big.
Right now?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we're done. So I want to get to the Lincoln. Is it the Lincoln hearse?
Yeah.
So when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, killed, they put his body in a hearse, and they drove it. Around the was it around the nation, or did it go in a rail car and then
it was
put on display?
Every town, it went in a rail car.
And then it was horse drawn.
Every town had its own hearse.
And it was beautiful.
And the final one was Springfield, Illinois. That's the one everybody recognizes as Lincoln hearse.
And how many of these hearses were there out there at the time?
As many towns as he stopped at.
So they would build one, or
they would bring the best that they had out.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this was the famous one with the ostrich feathers and the whole nine.
Yes.
And so I'll let you pick up the story there. You were asked to, could you replicate this?
So I get a call 5:00 one night.
No blueprints.
Nothing. And this guy says,
Google this. You got to see it.
He says, are you Blue Ox Millworks? Yes. Could you build a reproduction of a hearse? Yes. Do you happen to be a veteran?
How about
Yes. Do you happen to be a combat veteran? Yes. I think I got the perfect job for you. First off, it cannot be done. And secondly, there's absolutely no money in it. And I went, holy crap, sign me up. Sign me up.
Sounds like a job for me.
You think I'm kidding. You think I'm exaggerating.
Not a penny. Yeah.
That is no exaggeration at
Wow.
all. That is exactly the way that laid down.
But they had constraints to make sure you were a combat vet to work on it of some sort. Or
They no, the guy who called me was a combat.
I got
He
you.
was a door gunner
Okay.
in a Huey.
Okay.
He knew, talking one combat vet to another, he knew how the buttons to push.
Yeah. And he got you. You're hired. Thank you.
So I went out to CR, Viviana and I, my wife, went out to College of Redwoods and said, we'll do this if you guys will supply veterans. And God bless, I'll get her name in a minute, CR.
Mm-hmm.
She got us, over the course of the whole thing, 23 veterans. And CR did, can I say, Scott, there's 3 ways to walk.
Sure.
You can walk on the dry sand. You can walk in the water. But you can also walk on that wet sand in between the two.
Heck yeah.
That's the place that she went.
How about that?
And
Discretion again?
yeah.
Okay.
And
That's good.
so she made it look like they were going to CR and they got their GI Bill. So for a year and 1 month that it took us to make it, they got paid
Great.
by the VA.
Mm-hmm.
Viv and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We did it for free,
Mm-hmm.
but we did it for the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
and we did an exact replica. And people are going to say, how do you know it's exact? Because I worked with 4 historians on it every night for the last 8 months of that project. I would take pictures
Mm-hmm.
with a cell phone, and you could send them.
Sure.
And then one of the, every night I called him 5 o'clock.
How about that?
And I put me 2 beers on my desk and call him.
It's a 2-beer call.
And one guy that I called would do magic on the phone, and all 4 of them would be on the phone.
Gotcha.
So all 5 of
You'd
us.
conference in and everybody'd collaborate.
And he knew how to do that. And they all looked at the pictures and they would say, oh man, you nailed it.
Got it.
You nailed it, kicker. Oh, God. Or they would say, I think that's a 1/4 inch too short, don't you?
Huh. That was the first beer.
Because I just watched the day's work fly out the window like a butterfly.
Wow. How about that? So on the fly, no plans.
No, the original hearse burned up in 1886.
Yeah. You had photos.
It was one.
There's one photo you did.
One photograph in the entire world, and the Lincoln Museum has looked for 10 years, and they found one.
Wow.
One photograph, and we knew one dimension, the diameter of the rear wheel, and that's it. That's the only dimension known.
So you had to build a puzzle from one piece. So the story goes, if I remember right, you guys shipped that thing back there with help from the guy from Texas or the benefactor.
Yeah.
And then it was well celebrated for Springfield's 200th anniversary.
No, it wasn't Springfield. It was Lincoln's 150th burial.
It's his burial
anniversary. And they had
which was a big deal in Springfield.
150,000 people showed up. 7,000 of them in costume that went on the parade.
How about that?
A 2-day parade.
Huh.
And the hearse was the center point.
And it was the feature, the vanguard.
So the stipulation that Viv and I put on
How about that?
Was that, okay, we'll do it, and we'll do it for free. We get it. There's no money. We totally understand that. That's fine. But at the end, you got to fly all of the veterans back there, and they have to be honored.
These are the guys that worked under you from CR.
And gals.
From the gal that made it happen, whose name is?
Yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah.
We'll get it. So did they agree to those terms? They flew everybody back?
They did.
How about that?
And that was the greatest healing for these guys and gals that could have possibly happened.
Huh. That they contributed to the history of their nation.
I had a Vietnam veteran tell me, they may not like my war, but they goddamn well like my hearse.
Amen. That's all right. That's centerpiece, man. That's big. So I'm moving us forward now to the radio, man. You wrote a book. You collaborated, or
I went to Radio Man. Came from a book that I'm going to sign this Sunday at Eureka Books
down in Old Town. That's in Eureka, California. It's right here on the map.
So
come fly into Eureka, get a book.
And
Joni and I might come down there. What time are you signing? Great. We'll be there. Sometime in the afternoon, I bet you.
12 to 2, maybe.
It's close to Dick Taylor Chocolates, by the way.
It is.
You know those guys.
Yeah. Oh, God. Those guys are great.
Yeah. They're almost a knock, just without too much association, because it wouldn't offend you or them, but they have a lot of older equipment that they make their chocolate with.
They're little Erics.
Yeah, they refurbish and renew and revise and reuse and recycle.
And they printed their stuff to begin with. You know, they're little Erics. I get it.
I love it. And they know you probably.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're all down in Old Town.
So anyway, I can't spell, and I can't read, and I've written poetry my whole life. I have no idea. It's just the way my brain works.
Sure.
It's a different thing, and I got invited back. In fact, we got sent back to a place called Colorado Springs, Colorado. And are we running out of time?
No, I'm telling him you're doing a great job.
Oh,
I'm giving him the thumbs up.
Colorado Springs, Colorado, for the Park Service.
Okay.
We were the first for-profit business ever invited to one of these conferences.
Okay.
And they paid for us to come back, but it was cheaper to spend an extra 2 days. I don't get it, Scott. The airfare stuff.
Yeah, they who knows?
For me to spend 2 days. So I had 2 days after the conference. And Viviana got me a little tape recorder. Remember those little things
Sure, yeah.
talk into? And
so you recorded at the beginning of a book?
No.
Oh.
All 16 poems. There is a town from Colorado Springs to Manitou Springs, and it's 4 miles. And I walked for 2 days, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Reciting your poetry, recording.
And I recorded that entire book at one time.
How about that?
And those people, wherever the camera is, God bless you in Colorado. Yeah, they got to know me, and they would pull up and say, "Oh, he'll go by. Don't worry, he'll be caught in a minute.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's from California.
Just let him go." Because I I was not in Colorado at all.
Yeah.
I was in the jungles of Vietnam.
In that zone, huh?
In that,
creative zone.
you know,
Huh.
and I would walk out for the cars. I
Sure.
just walked. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And they never honked. They never,
You're respectful
they never did nothing.
about that.
They just, oh, it's just him. He'll be gone in a minute.
Yeah. He's doing something. You know, I imagine that in artists of all sorts, when they get in a zone, whether it's Picasso or Eric Hollenbeck or, you know, a writer, a creator of any sort, you know, leave me alone. Well, you got to eat dinner. No, I don't. I'm creating something, Dad. I have a 9-year-old that created things out of cardboard and duct tape and a box cutter.
Yes.
Micah, it's dinner time. No, I can't. I'm obsessed. And he's in that zone, that creative zone. So, so the Radio Man became a play at Del Arte out in Blue Lake.
So
they adapted that to a screenplay of some, or a play.
Jim McManus, a playwright, got a hold of those, the poem, and he came to the shop and interviewed me for, say 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He told another interview one time, he said, I looked at this and I read this, and who's this guy bleeding all over the pages? He said, this is unbelievable.
Wow.
And he created the play Radioman. And now, today, so Radioman played at Del Arte 2, what do they call it? Sessions, I guess they're called, and 9 days each or something.
Yeah.
The first one got bumped an extra day because they turned away people every night.
That's
every
right.
night.
Every sold out.
It was sold out every day. And that was in January. And then in June, they did it again. Same exact thing.
How about that?
Added an extra day because they turned away people every day.
Did you enjoy it? Was it accurate to your to your liking, to your creative? It's hard. From the book to the movie is a tough jump. It's a big jump.
It's a big jump.
Yeah.
Yes.
What an honor, though. Wow.
You know, he did. He made something more powerful. No, it's not everybody's going to read poetry.
No.
My poetry is stupid. I get it. They're little words, because I talk in 25 and 50-cent words.
Yeah.
You got $2 words,
I got
but
I don't. I went to Humboldt.
Yeah, I know. You got $2 words.
I got a couple of $5 ones.
But the point being is that that's an audience.
Yeah.
And theater is a whole different audience.
Yes.
And then movies is a whole different audience.
Yes, sir.
And TV is a whole different audience.
And a book is a different audience. Yeah.
I have learned to play in 2 of those.
Good.
TV and
we're getting to the TV here in a second.
And so anyway,
how long's the book been published that you're going to sign? By the way, is it fresh off the press?
How
about that?
Yeah,
cool.
Don't push on the words, or
it's kind of inky still. The ink hasn't dried. You got any in the van?
Yeah. No.
You know that I wrote a book. It's right here, Everyday Dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll sign
look
you.
At this.
I should sign you. Give me that.
Let me have it.
Yeah, take a look at it. When we're done here, we'll look. This is about you, not about me. Well, it just became about me briefly.
Look at you guys.
Look at there. People go, is that you and your sons at Clam Beach? I go, well, I had more hair. So it's no small labor to get a book out. Yeah, so I get it. Yeah. But I want to bring you full arc and bring everyone into this, that maybe in my book, I'm a video guy. I love watching TV, and I love watching good stuff. And the Craftsman, which is on what's the cable network?
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
Discovery Magnolia.
It's Discovery. So we could see it on. You could find it on the Discovery Network
and HBO Prime.
Oh, it is.
Both of them.
Is it on Netflix yet?
I don't know, but it is now on YouTube.
Okay, so you could go to YouTube on your big screen TV and find episodes.
Yeah.
So I, being a late learner and bloomer, like you said, I just saw this 2 weeks ago, and I'm going, this guy's show is amazing. And you guys restored the old trolley, and your daughters came in on another project, and I got through a lot of it, but I was amazed at the old equipment. And so tell us about that journey doing the video, and how many? There's 2 seasons.
Nick.
What do you got? 20 episodes?
20, yes.
Oh, how about that?
And so they called Scott at 5:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one in the office, and I answered the phone, and this young lady, and if you guys will bear with me, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. She sounded 12 to me.
Yeah.
This young lady says, we're going to pitch a new TV show to a new network called Magnolia, and it's going to be called American Heroes. It could be 50 of them, one for every state. Would Blue Ox be California? Yeah, fine.
I'll think about it. Yes.
Sure. We get these calls.
Sure.
This is not my first rodeo.
Yeah. You said no. You refused it out of the gate.
No, I said fine. Okay. That's swell. That's keen. But I didn't think anything about it. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks later, a guy calls, and a man. Young man, because they're all young in that field.
Oh, sure they are. Yeah, they are.
And says, you remember the young lady? Yes, I remember the young lady. Well, they didn't like it. They're not going to take it. But when they saw your footage,
the
network said, go to those people right there and see if they would have their own series.
There's our boy.
And I had Scott.
How about that?
I had the presence of mind. And I have to say it this way because I don't all the time. I had the presence of mind to tell him, I'm going to have to talk to my wife.
There you go.
And what that did is it bought us 3 days. For Viv and I to figure out if we're going to do this, what do we want out of it?
Yeah. Fair question.
Yeah.
And it made them want it even more because they had to sit on this stuff for 3 days.
I don't know about that.
Maybe you'd say no.
But so we called him back, said, look, if you're looking for an idiot reality show, we are so far down the road, you don't even see the dust from our tires. I mean, we are gone. No, that's not what we're looking for. Okay. All right. And then we said, okay, we'll do it on two things that we want. Number one, to be able to preach, and I hate that word, but tell
sure,
the young people of America that being a craftsman is an honorable and noble way to spend the rest of your life.
It's cool.
And you can make a living at it.
Sure.
And number two, to show the country the little gem that Eureka is.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe we are one of the crown jewels in California.
Heck yeah.
We are a gem.
Yep.
And they said, perfect. And I think
how about that?
They did both of those things.
And they were able to capture that.
I think if you folks watch the Craftsman, you'll see how wonderful they painted Eureka. I think.
I think they did. Yeah. So I haven't seen all the episodes, but are you in the Ingomar and the Carson Mansion and doing some work there?
Mm-hmm.
So the Carson Mansion is I would say it's the gem of Eureka architecturally, and maybe the gem of anything Victorian in America.
In America.
Maybe in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Newton brothers, they were the top.
Oh my gosh.
That building, can I tell you this real quick?
Yeah, do. Take your time.
You guys, is asymmetrical. If you're going to go look at the Carson Mansion, what I want you to do first is turn around and put your back to it and look at the Pink Lady.
Squared up.
The Pink Lady is a symmetrical, beautiful Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
The frieze rail is perfect. Every window detail is the same. They're all everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is great. The onion dome top, all of that. It just fits together ever so nice, like a cake. Now turn around and look at the Carson Mansion.
I'll do that.
There is no two windows the same.
It is weird. There's weird everything.
There is no two porches the same.
Huh.
There's no two door entries the same.
And they designed for that on purpose.
It's called asymmetric.
Yeah.
And
harder than heck to work on it.
And you look at it, your eye will not encompass the whole building. It won't do it.
Yeah.
It immediately pulls out of focus. Your eye does.
That's funny.
Because the brain can't handle it.
It's got too many moving parts. Yeah.
Too many different pieces.
Interesting.
And then you can focus on any one thing, but your brain will not focus on the whole building. Can
I tell you a quick story?
Yes.
So we were in there with a Hollywood producer and his wife Friday night, private dinner.
Uh-huh.
We have some friends that were kind enough to invite the poor provincial folks from McKinleyville.
Yep.
Never got out of the house with 9 kids. So we're having dinner with these folks. He's a reality TV guy, actor, and she's a producer. And she leaked as to what that reality thing is. It's terrible. It's a really false world.
Yeah.
But being inside that mansion, you look around, you go, oh my gosh, this every single detail, every interior cornice and every window, it's like, what's going on? And they had a cool light thing. He's got a light show that he's got he does it to music at 5:30 now.
Yeah.
So when you're in Eureka, Carson Mansion, what was his name? Barnum?
No, Carson.
Bill Carson.
Carson.
Yeah. And,
William, yeah. Bill, but you're right.
And then you helped design the Carter House as well, right?
No, that was another Newton Brothers. I helped make it.
Okay. But you designed the other part of the Carson. I'm sorry, the Mark Carter House, the Carter House.
Yeah.
With Mark.
With Mark, yes.
Yeah. Which is also remarkable.
Oh, so that's you. Do you know, Scott, why we're a treasure? So World War II happens. World War II gets over. You get all these doughboys coming home. And by doughboys, I mean they got money.
Mm-hmm.
They got pockets load of it. And, the GI Bill's kicked in. Everything's kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get the nation back going again. We're rocking and rolling. So that the developers down south start tearing stuff down and building track homes because the doughboys are going to want a home.
Yeah.
That's the American dream. And they do that all the way up. They got to the Redwood Curtain. They leaped up to us, and we are a extraction-based economy.
Yep.
Fishing, timber,
cannabis.
okay, now, but
Don't
the
get started
land,
on
farming,
extraction.
extraction.
Absolutely.
And we were in a recession. We couldn't afford this old junk we were passing around, and they leaped over us
Huh.
and went up the coast.
Went up to Medford or wherever. Yeah. Huh.
And you look at the towns like, what's the first one you come into in Oregon? Brookings?
Brookings and
Look at that town.
yeah.
Viv and I drove around for 2 hours and found 3 old buildings.
And that was it. How about that? And Eureka, down to core of Eureka.
We have 68, I've been told, 68% of our original structure still standing.
Not too shabby.
68, that's unheard of, Scott.
Yeah.
Nationwide.
So the whole town's a heritage site.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what Viv and I told the TV, if you'll show that.
Do you feel like they were successful in doing that?
I do. I think that they tried really, really hard. I got my hats off to Chip and Joanna because they fought an uphill struggle. That whole industry is
It's tough.
Very difficult. I ain't gonna do it anymore.
Yeah.
That was going to be the next question. Or is there going to be a third season?
Third
and
season.
I've told them no.
You're done.
I don't care to do that, but I will do 1 hour specials.
There you go.
To do a whole 8-week season,
That's a lot.
It's too hard on the business.
Maybe you do a full length movie.
No, I'm the movie
What a
guy.
delight. Great talking to you. So we're going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to ask you kind of what I ask everybody. And you've shared from your heart, and I know you will continue. What do you want to see for Eureka, for Humboldt County? What's Eric's vision of an ideal future? How do we get there? Take 5 minutes. I don't care. What are your thoughts? What do you envision creatively and otherwise for our little gem?
Okay. First off, progress. The amazing thing about progress is it's always progressing.
That is
So
a good word.
whether it's good or bad is way beyond me. I'm just Eric. That's all I am. But what I would ask people to do is, as we're driving along, as we're going about our day, as we're doing all of our things, can we drop down 1 gear? 1 gear. We drive from Eureka to Arcata. Then we go through the 50-mile-an-hour stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of looking on both sides and going, oh my God, look at this. We have the bay. We have the salt marsh with these ducks nestled up in it. We have the road, and we have the fields here with the cows and that go up into timberland. We look at the license plate of the car ahead of us and think, you can do 52 miles an hour. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to stop you from doing 52 miles an hour. If we can ease back just a little bit.
Great word.
Then we can negotiate the progress, but we can do it at our pace. And we can say, yes, I see it. And that's going to be fine. We can ease into it. I ain't running into anything.
Oh. Slow down.
It's just slow down a little bit.
Great word. Hey, what a pleasure. Anything else? Any parting shots?
No.
Nope.
Except I love my wife, Viviana, very, very
Viviana,
much.
we missed you today. She was going to be with us, and she
got sick. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, no, we understand. Now, thanks for being here. So, a couple of things. Blue Ox Millworks. You could Google that. Google the Craftsman. It's on YouTube also.
Yes.
And on the Discovery Network,
Yes.
which is a big, big thing. And then the Radio Men, the book. You're going to sign this weekend at Eureka Books. We could find that online, probably on Amazon now or later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
And if we want to come down to Old Town Eureka sometime and look up Blue Ox, I bet we'd find yourself hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you normally come out and hang out with folks and the tours and all?
At the shop at X Street, foot of X, I take pictures with everybody, Scott, that comes by, because can I be real honest?
Please.
I had a really hard time with that at first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just Eric.
Yeah.
That's all I am. And then it dawned on me, these people are driving a long, long way to get here.
Europe. Amsterdam.
Even if they're San Francisco.
That's a long run.
That's a potload long. I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Get your ass out there and get in the photo.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Move it,
Look
man.
at him. He said it. And he is dead on.
No, they came all that way to see you and your vision. And yeah, why not?
Get up off of your dead ass and get out there and take a photo.
Move it, man. It's not that hard.
It ain't that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. The small acts of kindness, my dad used to say. Kids recognize them, and kids of all ages.
Yeah.
You know, that's those small things. So gear it down one. I like that. Slow it down and
I would like to
smell the flowers.
I don't know why, Scott, I don't know why my 30 miles an hour is so much slower than everybody else's 30 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody pass me on Myrtle Avenue. Passed me.
Yeah, because they're going 80 on a 25. Yeah, yeah. You know, plus Eureka's not known for the safest traffic in the world.
It just all that I'm trying to say is everybody, not just in driving, don't you think? It's not just in driving.
No,
it's in everything.
Yeah,
in our lives. Can we just pull it back?
Yeah, and you don't have to start your day with your phone. You know, it's bad for your brain. Well, there's a lot of ways, metaphorically and literally, to slow down.
Just pull it back one gear.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, Advent, Christmas is a great time to do that.
Christmas is a great time, yeah.
Go outside and look at the Pleiades and the Orion's belt. It's right out there.
Yeah.
And it's clear, and go do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Eric, what a pleasure. Appreciate you. Get over here.
Oh, God, I'm too old.
That's all right. I don't want to hurt you. Hey, thanks for being here. And God bless you. God bless America.
God bless America. Yes.
Thanks again.
Yep.